Generic greetings and welcome back once again to Railroads. Today's beverage is a fairly standard cranberry juice with a dash of lime for good measure. Either way, welcome back to the game, and previously we were on the Northwest US map dated 1850 to 1930, and the reason for that is because A, it's Railroads and it's fun, B, because it is the only map in the game which has two dated scenario objectives. So you've got 1899 and then finally the 1930s, so that's the only two victory conditions. Previously and prior to that we were on the France map dated 1842 to 1989, and that has got 1, 2, 3, and finally 4, ranging from 1870 to 1989. So not only does it have the most victory conditions of any scenario, but I believe it's one of the most modern. Cursory glance, we've got the 80s, we've got 1970, it's past for these for the moment. We've got 1950s, we've got 1970s, we've got 70s, we've got 30s, wow, 57. Yeah, so basically, it's probably one of the most fleshed out scenarios in the game. Either way, for this one, we're going to do a bit of a challenge, and it's going to be the Rivers Run. Now, we don't often play these custom/multiplayer maps because I prefer the more historical ones. However, I thought it would be interesting to play on this one and see if we can not cross any of the water. This is technically all connected if you look at the scenario, so you can go around this without crossing rivers. However, it's going to be very expensive to do so, and truth be told, I'm fairly confident, I'm 99% sure I've done this in the past. However, as we've been playing and displaying this for over a decade, it's very difficult to keep track. Either way, let's just click play and enjoy a bit of Railroads, because it's always a good excuse to play a bit of Railroads. Max speed out and then open up all of these guys here. So we've got J.P. Point Morgan, we've got George Stephenson and Napoleon III. We have been positioned in Lewis, which is at the southern middle part of the map, which is interesting for this scenario because it's one of the few areas that actually starts out as a town. If you have a quick cursory look around, what you'll often find, if we go over to, say, the northeast here, there's Abbey. Actually, that's not proving my point. That's a town, and okay, I'm completely lying. That's another town as well. I think it's actually random, but there's Burgess there, which is a village. You've got a lot of villages. Oh yeah, okay, right. That's actually surprising. So I think this is random then, because when I previously played it, it was lots of towns rather than cities. Sorry, not even towns. It was villages rather than cities or towns. Either way, like I said, we can try and do this challenge. So not cross any sort of rivers. Over in where we started, which is Lewis, we have a textile mill, which is good for us. In fact, it's very, very good for us. 2 sheep mills. Sheep mills? No, we've got a textile mill and 2 sheep farms over here, which will be milled. And we're going to bring these down and obviously start producing some clothing. Clothing can then be sent over to, well, the only place that wants it is all the way over here, and routing it is going to be an utter nightmare, so I'm not even going to bother with it. I'm just going to... I think this is going to be quite a secular scenario, so what I mean by that is we're going to be basically... We're not really going to be interacting with a lot of other people or industries. So, yeah, we're going to just basically do our own thing, going to buy out our industries, sort of keep things on our own turf, really. Either way, let's unpause the game and crack on with some building. And this one is going to be a bit of an interesting one, moderate uphill over to there. And then a bit of a double track, because why not, to say there. And 1 steel and 1 is brick. I have no idea why that is, but, you know, game's going to game. And let's just go for that one and that one. And I'm going to have to sell some shares because, quite frankly, if I didn't buy out the textile mill from the very beginning, I would be a bit of an idiot. But there's a lot of that going around. Anyway, let's just see if I can connect these up. Yes, I can. And I'm probably going to get that. The AI hasn't even warmed up yet, so let me go with all of this one and there and clear the car and go back. One of the things I could do, it would be a very interesting concept actually. Ooh, right, hang on, wait, pause the game. Let's see. What if I was to... Yeah, okay. So these sheep farms, they produce 2 things. They produce the hides, I think they're called, or wool, and they also produce nitrates. Nitrates you can send over to a hospital, and hospitals, is the one over here actually? Oh, there is a hospital over there. It's a chemical plant, and then you can send it to a hospital. Ah, that's going to change things massively. I'm going to be able to do this one. Can I? Oh, okay. Alright, okay, this is... Let me go at normal speed and unpause it. I'm going to put another train up and running, and let me go from there, wait until full, close that, and go to there, clear the car. what I was going to do is build in this empty lot. I was going to sell a lot of shares, pretty much bankrupt my company, sell the shares, and then go ahead and make a chemical plant, and then from that send it to a hospital. However, as there's one over here, what I can do is do a bit of a loop, and instead of going this way and then to somewhere else, I can actually go the other way, all the way over to here to Sparks, produce those in the chemical plant, the medicine, and then send the medicine over to a hospital, which I will build in Lewis. So it's basically it's a backwards loop. It's a clockwise loop rather than anti-clockwise. That is going to get expensive, and it's going to get very expensive very quickly. So, well, let's just stop talking and actually get on with it. So we're going to connect these up, and this is going to... I already know this is going to bung the system up. It's going to be a bit of a nightmare, but whatever. The fun is in finding out if it works or not. And, well, these multiplayer scenarios are always a bit of a random one. I'm only going to go with a single track just because, quite frankly, expenses. And what I'm doing, you notice here, it says no grade, and I'm just going to make quite sharp turns, and then over to Sparks. We're going to have to sell some shares, and it says gentle uphill. We can probably go down a little bit and go with no grade. Yeah, that's fine. Mayor of Freeman solicits Railway. Gordon is not heading over there. Let me go ahead and maybe sell some shares and start putting a bid on the chemical plant, and we do have enough money to get that one. So here I want to say nitrates, max it out, wait until full, empty the car, come back and enjoy the ride. Similar thing from the previous one. Hopefully I haven't made a mistake on this, and clear that one and say okay. And I will go ahead and do a double track. In fact, I'll probably do a triple track eventually. Let's see, how is that one working? It's working well. Apparently we set a new speed record with a 422 Iron Duke, which is, well, good for us, I guess. And this one here, again, this is probably going to get a bit... yeah, JP Point Morgan has put a bid on my chemical plant. They haven't really got a big idea on what we've got going here. Let me max speed this out. They've put another bid on that one, but we didn't get an audio alert, which is interesting. I think it's because I was changing speed on the game, but looks like we have won that for 164,000, so that is fine. Let me go ahead and sell some more shares, put that in there, and then from this one it's going to go with there, and then basically connect it up to there. And this is, like I say, a complete sort of loop that we've got going on, which is good. And I'm going to have to build a hospital in Lewis. Like I said, I do want to sell the clothing that I've got. I have a feeling what will probably happen is I'll just wait for Sparks to max out on it's going to go from village to a town to a city, metropolis, etc. Will that work or not? I do not know. Let me go ahead and it looks like Morgan's won another medal there for speed. An empty lot. Ooh, okay, right. Immediately, this is the Parsons steam turbine patent. Increased freight pulling power for all trains. As we are all about the freight at this stage, we're going to run with that one. There's another loco there that I just sort of skipped over. It is what it is. And yeah, okay, so I'm 433,000 generic units of currency. Is there anything I'm missing? A clue? Yeah. What about the stuff over here? See that? Look at that. So there's Troll Company there, and in Wagoner there is a cannery. I was going to say a fish plant. We can go over there, but we'd have to go all the way around this way. So this is a more difficult challenge than I originally anticipated. Let me go ahead with the money that we have and build myself a hospital. There we go. So we now have that. So it means we can go from there. Go with max out on the medicine, go there, clear the car, and preemptively, I know the game's going to shout at us, I'm going to say bring back some clothing. Yes, fallen goods are being picked up and not not needed, but it is what it is. It's just, yeah, what we're going to do. Let's max this out and go with a passenger locomotive. Ooh, don't say train. Let's see, for these other ones I probably don't need to bother. For this, there is a cannery just over there in Freeman, and it does solicit a railway. Okay. I'm going to ignore the Randolph area because, well, quite frankly, we've got no real connection. We'd have to go all the way around here, and it's just too far away. Obviously, if we could go direct, then that would be perfect, but, well, we can't, so there's the end of that chat. Let me just buy out a couple more of my shares here, and that's not great. Suboptimal is the term. Textile demand falters as households crochet themselves a new dud. Fashion world shudders. So basically, textiles has gone down. So, you know the thing that we started out with and, you know, we're focusing on? Yeah, the industry's in the tank, so that's fun. Anyway, let me go ahead and continue to buy my own stock. Strangely, we're actually top here. We are on 2.2 million. Next highest is Morgan on, let's call it 2, and then we've got Napoleon and Stevenson in the race as well. Okay, fine. And oh, who's this? Who is this? This is Napoleon III, who has a fairly decent set of track, laying some iron there. Fine. Okay, let's continue to expand, because if you don't in this game, then you pretty much... I was going to say die, but it's not an FPS. You get bought out, is what I meant to say. So I'm going to go over to the fishery and then over to the canning company, and we will send food back over. What I could do, actually... Oh, okay, right, that's... intriguing. If I explain my thought process, what I could do here really is go over to Freeman, and then we could send passengers and mail and clothing and split up over Sparks. Okay, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So for this one, that's bringing some clothing over. I'm going to get rid of 4 of those and go with 2 and 2. So that's fine. I know it's going to shout at us to say, look, we don't actually need that, but it is what it is. Let's see. It will level up eventually, and this is going to have a double track. Double tracking over trestle is it's an absolute nightmare. Although it looks to be. Yeah, it didn't work there, did it? Okay, right, spin the camera, and let's see if we can get down in this one, and delete that bit, and you always go off the side, you always go off the main line to the side ones, just, it's because it's, like I say, where the game is. 12,000, nowhere near enough to build another one of these, so... Well, yeah, that's a bit of a shame. We're still on the top, so that's okay. So from here, I'm going to say max out on the fish and so long, and then go there and then clear it. That's going to go back and forward. We'll do a bit of a double track, and then connect those ones up like so. Breaking my own rule, but it's just a straight piece. And, oh, looks like we made loads of money, so let's buy out the cannery. I don't think anyone really can... go ahead and sort of best us on the whole cannery front, but we shall see. What I'm going to do here is do a bit of a risky play and do that, and George Stevenson is trying to buy us out, or at least buy this thing out. Oh, connections there is going to be an absolute... I don't even think it's possible, actually. Bonus for perishables. Let's place a bid on that one, because we have literally just got into perishables. Actually, no, perishables is also the food. No, we're not on food, are we? We're on medicine, and we've got that for absolutely nothing. 50,000, which is great. I'm going to try and connect these up. I already know it's going to go wrong. I can just feel it in my bones that this is going to go horribly, horribly wrong. If I was to do that, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. No. We've actually been rewarded there with, yeah, the bonus from Freeman, which is good. So from here, what I'm going to do is say I want passengers, mail and clothing. Go there, clear the car, passengers, mail, and then this one is going to be food. And again, the game's going to shout at us to say, hey, you know, you're transporting stuff that the delivery area is, you know, not needing. And yes, that is the case. It's just what we're doing is planning for the future. Probably could spend the money in better ways, but whatever. Let's just go ahead and say station terminal, get all these leveled up. And is there anything that we're not building towards? The problem I have here is that we've already been muscled in by Napoleon. However, they are exceptionally poor. Oh, okay, right, and they've gone over to Randolph. See, they can use... they obviously can go over stuff like that. Where is... What's happening here? What are they doing? going over to Randolph, which is a power plant which uses ore. And to be fair, Napoleon is in the ore business. They have a Argentine Mining Company coal plant here, coal mine. But they're taking it over to there, which is a smelter, and the smelter is much more profitable, so I'm not too sure exactly what they're up to. I don't think they know. Maybe they've had a few too many beverages. Anyway, let's see what I can do. There is a sheep company there, which we could use. You know what? I am very, very, very tempted to focus. Oh, did you see that? A little pop there. And Lewis has went to a metropolis. So already we've got one of our areas to a metropolis? Metropolizes? Metropolis. And that's done. So that's all good. What I'm going to do is continue to expand here. And we're going to... I do want to go over to Wagner. And, oh, there's Sparks. That's also now leveled up, and that is demanding now clothing. So the stuff I was transporting that wasn't really doing anything is now working quite well. I'm very tempted, because of the Abbey Coal Company, to save up some money in Sparks and build myself... I could build a steel mill, or I could build a power plant. Steel mill is better because then you've got another thing to transport. Where am I going to transport it to? I have no idea. There's a Pratt Bridge Truss patent. Now, I'm not going to bid on that because, quite frankly, as we are aware with this challenge, we're not going across water, which means, for the most part, we don't need that sort of thing. So, there we are. I own 40% of my company. Napoleon III owns none of their company, and in fact we own 70% of their company, and that's going to be a big liquidation, and that means everything on the left is pretty much fair game for us. In fact, what it's going to mean is I'm going to buy out the steel mill and then go there, and yeah, I think that's the main focus. We can see here we do have a bit of a problem in that these trains are pretty much jammed up. We knew this was going to be the case from the beginning, but yeah, anyway. Oh, look at that, Lewis. Lewis is demanding munitions. Okay. Don't know what that says about the place or the country, but whatever. Let me buy out a bit more of Napoleon III's shares. This is interesting in that we are... Yeah, we're going to own someone else's company very, very early. We have done this in the past. We've had a challenge where, and multiple ones in fact, where we have... Oh, who's this? That is Napoleon. Right, I'm definitely buying them out. Yeah, we've had a challenge in the past where we were just trying to buy out the opponent very early on, and it can work, and it can be a bit of a mixed one. You know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, I guess. We've had ones where we've bought out some few, but then because of our circumstances and all the money spent in, rather than infrastructure and industry, we spent on just buying other people out. We've basically had no backbone for an economy. So, you know, I guess, as I said, it is what it is. It can work, it cannot. In this particular instance, I think it will work out because they are muscling on our patch. You can see they've got loads of stuff here. All this will be liquidated, and then we're going to take over Christiana, and then over to the mining company and all this. And you know what? Gearhead tunneling shield. I don't plan on tunneling, but for some reason I wanted to bid on it. I can't stand something like that going to waste. And yeah, I think it actually increases the value of your company anyway by doing that. Could be making that up, it feels like I am, but anyway. Textile futures rise as boring fashions head out. So, you know, we've been in a bit of a downturn when it comes to fashion because of that event, but now it's going to go the other way. Let's buy, and we will liquidate. So, we have bought out Napoleon III, and all of their stuff has disappeared. Let me go ahead and pause it, and we've got 1.1 million. Wow, okay, I'm going to go to normal speed and unpause it then. And from here, this is going to spur off and go over to here, and then straight as you like over to this place, and then we're going to go 1, and then 2, and then I'm just going to preemptively buy out the steel mill and level this up to a terminal, and then go from there, all of the ore that you like to there, and clear the car, and say A-OK. Job done. Okay, and there's that million pretty much spent up. The reason why it's so expensive is because the steel mill has made money. Oh no, revenue 0. Okay, I assumed wrongly that that was the case. Alright, let me just go to max speed then. I thought the reason, like I say, everything was expensive is because, you know, the way it was working there. Okay, fine, fine. So, what can we do here? There is, good opportunity to make some money and make some food, and we are going to take that opportunity. I do obviously need to transport some ore eventually and go into the munitions business, but, well, I'm going to go into the food business first, and let me go ahead and place that in here, and then this one is going to go all the way over, straight as you like. It's gentle uphill, but that's fine, over to there, and from this one, we're going to double track, and say, actually, you know what, I'm going to double track from there to there, and obviously put in some different connections, so that's all good, and I'll put a similar one in here, that's alright as well, and then a couple of crossing okay, yeah, that was fighting me there, and we'll do that, and from here, this can go, and basically go over to there, and it's going to be all about the food. And stockyard I want to buy out, which I can, so I'll start a bid on that one. Apparently, JP Point Morgan is not a fan of us owning our food plant. I'm not too sure why, but yes. And I've just looked at Stevenson's stock. It is so cheap. This game might be over sooner rather than later because, oh yeah, that stockyard is getting very expensive. Well, I'll do what I can. Yeah, the reason I'm saying the game might be over sooner rather than later, I've just realised that we are nearly 15... we're nearly 15 million valuation, and the opponent is not that. Okay, right. From there, we want to go from food, take all the beef and take it to there, clear the car. And a steel mill by JP Point Morgan. You can have that, mate. Yeah, I do not want that in the slightest. And we've got a different train here. Oh, locomotive. Okay, right, we're gonna go there. And I probably should do some upgrading, because some of my original ones are, well, original. So let's go ahead and just go for some upgrades. Let's see. Most of stuff we've gone with here is actually been freight, so there's only really one that's mixed, and that is the one going back and forward from Lewis to over here, which is Sparks. Okay, I'm going to keep on buying out Stevenson. Digressing back to what I mentioned earlier, saying, oh, this might be a shorter game than usual, is because, quite frankly, we are, I was going to say overvalued. Perhaps we are overvalued, but we're making so much money, and the opponent is not, that we can just buy the opponents out. So it's not a case of making more money than everybody else. It's just we can just pay and get rid of them, and there's no more opponents. Good grief, the money is absolutely rolling in. I don't even know where it's from. Should we have a quick look? Goods report. So there's only myself and Morgan really in the running. We are on textiles 100%, which, to be fair, we just had an upturn on that one. Fish, we've only got one cannery going, but 100%. Wool, same thing. Nitrates is good. Medicine is really good. It's valued at 34,000. The most valued is actually arms, which nobody is in the running for at this stage. And I come back to the game and we've nearly got 1 million just sitting in the bank. Wow. Okay. This is not going to be the longest Railroads game we've ever played, but it's been, you know what, it's been very fun. I've really enjoyed this one. Let me liquidate the opponent there. Yeah, it's been really interesting because it's something we don't often play on, these multiplayer scenarios, but, well, it's just turned out that, yeah, it's been... Can I lubricate a patent? How's maintenance cost in all trains? Yeah, we're definitely going to buy that, of course. Of course, that's one of the best things to buy in the game when it comes to the patent auctions, which you have for 10 years. Yeah, it's been one of the most interesting ones in quite a while, actually, because, like I said, we don't often play on these scenarios, and it's been different because of how everything has went when it comes to basically the AI. So I said originally we were going to play just on our own. We do our own thing and not really interact with the AI and, you know, send stuff back and forward. But actually, because their money has been so low and their valuation's been so low, we've actually been able to buy them out. It does help that we started in a really good loop. So we were sending nitrates and some wool back and forth between Lewis and to Sparks, and then basically being in a big circle. It does mean that things are getting jammed up, but because you can see we've got like 11 nitrates and 10 nitrates, so there's still a lot more provision to send stuff around. But yeah, anyway, ship production drives up steel prices. Okay, fine. We do have ore. It's here. We're not sending it anywhere. Where is the nearest place that is wanting it? Is there an arms factory? Yeah, there's an arms factory right over there in Davis. I am not going to bother with that one. You know what I will bother with though? And this is going to be probably... actually, is it going to be a problem? No, it's not. It's going to be actually really good. This is going to basically net us the game from here. Single track. Oh, hang on, that's a bit of water there. We can't cross that. We're not allowed to. We're going to go there and there. And from here, we're going to go say this one. Sorry, cancel. Empty lot, and I want to build myself an arms factory. I say I want. I don't really want to, but we are going to. And I'm going to transfer all of our ore over to there, and then bring back. We're going to bring back passengers. Oh, no, wait. Let's go with a bit of food and some munitions. And yes, the game again is going to shout at us to say, hey, you realise you're not needing that? And yes, I am aware. 440 Claude Hamilton, big blue engine there, passenger loco, but we don't need that really. We do, however, to be fair, we probably can bring some bit of a weird connection here, but whatever, let's do it. We're going to go through here, around, over to this one, and we're going to bring some passengers and mail from this, so we'll go with a 4-3, why not, and to there, and then basically bring the same back again. So, all good, all good. 844,000 to buy out the next bit of stock. Birkenshaw's malleable rails patent, which is 25% cheaper to build rails. I'm not going to let them have it for 50,000. That's just not going to happen. We've got all this whole northern area which we've not went to. So, is there any option? You know what? You can have it for 170,000. The reason being, I don't know if I'm going to be building much more. I'm more in the buyout and liquidation business these days. Going to go there and get all of the beef and transport it to there. Obviously, we're not transporting it anywhere else, but yeah, there you are. Actually, let me change that one because that is a passenger loco. I want to go with mixed. And I'm going to buy out the stockyard, and that's going to net us. Oh, okay. Morgan is a bit keen to buy us out there. All right. Looks like we're going to get that for pretty much no money. Okay. Nope, I'll put another bit on. From here, this sheep farm, there is a chemical plant. Okay, again, we're going to do a bit of a change here. We've been rewarded by getting in some food over to Abbeville. And as you're noticing here, we're sort of in our own sort of circular loop. And buy the chemical plant out because we're just doing our own thing. And then I'm going to put in here, I'm going to put myself a hospital. So it's going to be one big circular lot. Again, I was going to say that how dare Morgan be bidding on our stuff, but at the end of the day, they are the only company in existence. We bought the other two out in the very early part of the game. So they've made us pay for it, nearly 300,000, and then we are going to build a hospital. And we're going to go with... oh, hang on, wait, I should probably actually put some things in here. There we go. Can we go back and forward? Yes, we can. We can easily do that. What I will do, however, is preemptively double track and do that, because we're going to go from here, max out on nitrates, go there, clear, and max out on medicine, go there, clear. So it takes the nitrates to the chemical plant. That makes medicine. There's a freight loco there. It's the 080 web compound. Yeah, so it goes from here, takes all of the nitrates over there, makes some medicine, takes the medicine to Abbeville, and then heads back. It's just back and forward, basically. Right, okay, so where is the best place to... Okay, is this... yes, okay, so this is where we're making money now. This is the money train. Waiting for this. Here we go. And 60,000... 60,000. So if we go over to our goods report, we can see that. Look at the chart for for arms is just flying right up. Yeah, it's how it is. And loads of food in Freeman. Okay. Probably transport some more. This is what I said earlier about transporting stuff preemptively, that we were bringing arms back. I mean, technically, it's more efficient to not send it and keep them in your warehouse, essentially, and then as soon as the place you're going to and from wants that thing, there's an ES1 by General Electric. It is a passenger loco. Yeah. We did a challenge on that one before where we only use electric, I believe. Anyway, yes, so bringing sort of munitions and stuff back and forward, we sent that before Christian actually wanted them. It was demanding them, but we did it just for the sake of ease. It was just easy for us. We were doing other things. We were prioritising other things. But it's better to keep it in the warehouse and then transport it. But obviously a bit more legwork to do that one. Let's see, from here we've got loads of food, and where can I send food? Fish has gone up. Where can I send food? Truth be told, I don't actually care. Sounds very dismissive, and it is, but not in a bad way. I was just looking at the money. We got 6 million to buy out Morgan. It's 6.7. Let's call it 7 by the time we didn't even finish the sentence before we liquidated them. There we go. That has been a bit of railroads. It has been a very much Wallace and Gromit laying the track in front of the train type of episode. Very quick fire, I'm aware. Okay. This has sort of rekindled my interest in the multiplayer scenarios because it was just a bit different. We haven't focused on any of the victory screen conditions here. Technically, we failed the first one, which is complete by 1900, be the last railroad standing by buying out everybody. We bought 2 of them out, certainly, Stevenson and Napoleon being the first one. But yeah, we managed to very early on get a decent start when it came to the let's see, textile mill here. Total profit is over 2 million on that one, which is to be expected. Obviously started very close to the Lewis woolen sheep farms, getting stuff back and forward, then expanding over to Sparks to make some medicine. Then medicine, we took a bit of a hit, to be fair, when it was building the original hospital, but we knew that going in, that we were playing the long game on this one. The plan was to not really bother with other AIs and, you know, muscling on their territory, but it just happened that we managed to buy out Napoleon. I think if we didn't do that, we wouldn't have got where we got, because, you know, they were bringing all the stuff through all here. They were taking things. They were just all in our territory, and it would have just been a compound issue. It would have got worse and worse and worse as things progress on. But yeah, that's been a bit of railroads, and like I said, hopefully an interesting one. And we have managed to get ourselves, yeah, a very, very decent. I wouldn't say easy. I think we've played it well. I normally say more luck than judgment, but I think it was the latter on this one. We managed to get going early, and yeah, we went from there. Either way, if you like the video, then by all means let me know in the comments. I'm sure you will. And any tips, comments, suggestions, not just for this challenge but for others, then by all means let me know. Hope you have enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.